I haven't got it written down, but what is the inception of desire? For example, as we're kids, we have certain desires, and as we reach puberty, there's a change in desires.
Yeah.
And if our character and nature has influence on our desires.
Yes. It's a very good question. So what principles or laws influence the inception of desire? The reality is that God has placed inside of us a number of instinctual things that can help generate a desire. So, for example, the instinct to know. Right? You notice that in a child, where very undeveloped a child may be, but one of the first things they start doing is going, why is that? Why, Daddy? Why, Daddy? Why, Mummy? Why does this happen? Why does that happen? Shut up, kid. That's where you shut it down, right? But because I told you so. But this is where it normally goes. But why did this instinctual desire to know the truth is actually something that has been inbuilt in us. So God has actually done a number of things to encourage you to have desire as well. And some of those desires are driven by different sensations that appear in the body. However, the soul has control over the body. And unfortunately on this planet, most of us don't believe that. Most of us believe the body is what controls us. So therefore, the body has some natural instinctual parts to it too that are separate to the soul's instinct. Do you understand what I mean? And in the Paget messages, we refer to that as the animal side of your nature. The human body is very, very similar in its nature and very similar in the laws that govern it to a mammal, any other mammal. Right? But see, the trouble is, many of you think that those laws that govern the body supersede the laws of the higher creation of the soul. So if we examine it this way, you've got your physical body, right? And remember, overcloaking your physical body is your spirit body, but I'll draw it like this. Here's your spirit body, and here's your soul. Right? Many of you believe that your sexual motivations come from the physical body's development. Right? Now that is true for a mammal, but it's not true for something that has a higher creation with a higher set of laws. This is the thing that determines these things, not the other way around. Right? So in the soul of a person who is connected with God, their sexual desires do not drive them from the physical level. The sexual desire that occurred in the soul drives them. So they are only interested in a sexual interaction with their other half. That's all they're interested in. They're not interested in sexually and interested in anyone else. Can you see the difference? Whereas a mammal is driven only by the body's and the spirit body's desires. So therefore it responds no matter what. Right? And then what do we do with that? We go, oh, well, the animals do it, so we should do it. But we're forgetting that this is a higher creature with higher laws governing it, and if you connect to it and you're aware of it, then this thing determines your sexual response, not any other way. You see? So don't make comparisons of lower creations with higher creations. It's a major flaw we have in the way in which we examine scientific truth on the planet. Mammals are lower creations. They are not governed by exactly the same things that we are governed by from the soul level, because they don't have a soul. They are only their physical body and spirit body. That's all they are. That has a number of laws and instinctual laws governing it. But the soul, the human soul, is completely different to that. It governs the bodies. So for this person to have sex with anyone, the soul has to have an issue. But for an animal to have sex with any other animal of the same species, it doesn't have to have an issue. Can you see the difference? And this is why we need to stop the comparison. But yes, we are, in answer to Igor's question, we do have many instincts inbuilt into the soul. There is an instinct to know in this soul that drives our desire, that drives other things, including our desire. Yep. And you'll also notice that a child by nature is quite trusting in comparison to an adult. They don't trust per se, but what they do is they are trusting of answers given to them. They're open to answers given to them, whereas adults become very resistive to answers given them. So there is also inbuilt in the soul, right at its inception, there was inbuilt this desire to know and an openness to understand, which then gets suppressed throughout our existence generally. But it's there. And that's another thing that causes us to grow and change, these instinctual things that have been built into the soul. So God has enabled, and there are many hundreds or of thousands of ways God's enabled you to work out that desire is great, right? And therefore enabled a way of you learning about desire and engaging it and then measuring its results.